do you describe Dominica? Others say a simple Caribbean island. But I say, big things come in small packages. And to know one's worth is to know oneself. People, this is a one-of-a-kind show. Like me, this is the best way I know how to truly embrace Dominica and Dominicans. Real Vybz is seeking to discover our own icons, singers, songwriters, artists, painters, politicians, everyday human beings and the faces that we know. And Real Vybz is letting their voice be heard. Real Vybz family, it's a beautiful, beautiful day in sunny Dominica. And of course, today we have three gentlemen coming on the show. And today we're discussing the topic of Bouyon and its direction. After recent statements made by the Speaker of the House that somehow Bouyon music seems to incite violence, I thought about it long and hard, and I think who best to talk to than the men in music in Dominica who are doing the thing right now. And there's one gentleman that comes to mind every time I think about popular artists from this country, Kex Mafia. This man is so viral. It seems like everything he says, people repeat it. It becomes a phrase or saying like, do it now, or what you and thing have. It's just so amazing how everything this man says, people just keep on repeating it. So as a man who's doing his thing big time right now in Dominica, it seems like every release becomes a hit. I thought, we Real Vybz family, we need to speak to Kex. We got to get his opinion on this. Where is Bouyon headed? Does it truly incite violence? Let's welcome to the show, Kex Mafia.
Mafia, baby. Yeah, man.
How are you, Kex? Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, man.
Like I said, I probably couldn't have said that intro better. You're doing big things this year.
Yeah, I am.
And I know you've never identified yourself as a Bouyon artist, but you would rap on a Bouyon beat.
Yes, I would rap on a Bouyon beat because of its local. It's a local genre, you know. And me doing the local music, you know, putting the parts on the local phrases, it will be a plus for me, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Let me tell you, Bouyon seems to have transformed. Like most music, right now we have rap, trap, rush, trap, all of this trap music going on. Bouyon too seems to have transformed from originally having jing-ping and quadrille to now being more electronified. Do you think that transformation is what causes the content of the music to suddenly change for, like, into more sexual? You have more sexual content, you have more violent content this way. Do you think that transformation is what is causing that?
Well, I wouldn't say the transformation that's causing that. I mean, it's the mindset of people, you know. I mean, we're living in the real world, you know, we're living in the future now. I mean, back in the day, when you had good times, so-called good times, you know, you bathe by the river and you enjoy yourself, you sing about that, you know. Now in the modern time where any little child now, they know what is sex, you check? So it's like, basically the negative just push forward more than the positive, you check? So when you sing about the, not negative, but sexual and the, you know, the bad things and them kind of thing, they're fighting with people and them kind of negative thing, it will push more than the positive. That's what's happening now.
Kex,
so,
that is why I don't want to stop you, but that is exactly why I wanted to speak to someone who is going to be honest about it. On that note, I want to know, does violence sell? Does sex sell?
Yeah, man, sex selling, violence selling, easy. That is true fact. I mean, that is why, if it wasn't selling, they would have shut down the porn company a long time. You know, you go in online and you buy in porn with your credit card, debit card, and you get that easy. If that was a big issue, they would have shut that down one time. I mean, why put it in movies? Why put it in commercials, you know? Why put it in songs? If it was a big issue, that would have shut down a long time. We don't want to see that on TV at all, but it cannot, because people realize, wait a minute now, that's really making money, so let's invest in that.
Do you think that is part of the reason why a lot of artists will choose to go on that trend, you know, choose to tackle more of those subjects? What I'm going to do to this person, or how I'm going to put it on this woman, that sort of thing?
Well, then again, it's trend there. I mean,
Yes.
if that trend working, and let's say I sing in positive, you know, so if that trend working, it's like, why not follow? I'm not saying that to advise people to follow that. Then again, it's your mindset, what you really want. You want to sing music because that is what you really want in life, or you want to sing music just to make money?
Yes.
You check, that is the question. So is what you're really doing?
Now, let me tell you, many people claim that the the bouillon of before. I'm talking about in the days of Ra, WCK.
Yeah.
This was authentic bouillon. To them, that's a marketable product compared to what is being sung by Triple K and these bands. You know, I'm not afraid to mention it because Triple K has done really well for themselves in promoting the bouillon, but at the same time they're getting this good publicity. They get a lot of bad publicity. A lot of people think that Triple K is a band that really promotes a lot of sexual activities, and you know, you can hardly enjoy a show without a fight. So tell me, what is your take on that?
Well, to be honest, I mean, if that is their way of presenting their music, I cannot say nothing about that. You know, that is their way. That is what that's working for them. If it wasn't working for them, they would have never booked them, because I mean, there are people overseas saying, okay, well, if what they do in inciting violence, we're not selling for them, but they're still getting gigs, so I guess it's working for them, you know. I mean, it's bringing money for them. It's giving them, basically, there's nothing as bad publicity. You check? That is the basic forum about it, so it's like, what can I say? You know? And
it is a known fact, Real Vybz family, in the music world, you're always gonna hear that bad publicity sometimes is good publicity.
Exactly.
Because the more people who speak negatively about you, it means that there's a lot of people who want to know about what's going on in your life.
Yeah, that's right.
So Kex, in your instance, I mean, you have your fans, but of course you have people who don't like Kex Mafia.
Yeah, man, naturally.
How do you use that to channel that into your music?
Well, I just stay in focus. Basically, I just stay in focus. I mean, the people that don't like me, I wouldn't say they hate me. They probably hate the fact that I rise too fast. I mean, come on, in less than a year. I never see that in Dominica, in less than a year, you know. Once I say something, it's going viral, you know.
Yes.
So it's like I'm a hit maker.
I have to agree. I tend to agree with this man because, let's talk about it. You have Do It Now.
Hello Kitty.
Oh, Hello Kitty was just wow. Up to now, everybody's crazy over Hello Kitty. And then now, What You and Finger. What is the inspiration behind this song?
Well, it's all about being local, you know. It's all about being local and thinking outside the box. You know, everybody wants to make a song to make a woman wind down and do something, you check. But I think outside the box, for example, during the time of Maria, that is an obvious topic. Make a song on Maria. But it's like,
yes.
As I pick up my pen and paper and I say, all right, I can write a song about Maria, I just put it down. The guy checking like, wait a minute, but that obvious is like, okay, you make a song about Maria. That person make a song about Maria. I make Hello Kitty. I make Hello Kitty.
And for those of you who don't know Kex, I don't want to stop you, but I did an interview with this man here, and he said that Hello Kitty, he was simply looking for his cat, having some crumbs left in his plate, and he kept calling the cat. You know, it's like, and when he saw it, he was like, Hello Kitty, and he kept saying, puss, 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 and the song is on the radio. So this is truly artistic, you know, to take something in your life, in your daily routine, and just turn it into a song. Truly beautiful work. But Kex, we want to know, in terms of the bouillon, will you be putting out any bouillon hits this year?
Yeah, man, well, it's hits after hits, you know. I mean, all now in the Lenten season, and I put out What You and Thing Have, and it's an instant hit. It's on the radio St. Lucia, you know, Radio Dominica. It's all about it already. So right now, I'm just waiting to record my next song again.
Well, Kex, thank you very much for joining us on Real Vybz Show. Like I said, a man doing great things in the music industry. We want to know your take on the subjects. You are more than just the man putting the voice to the lyrical content. I'm sure that you have a lot to share. Thank you very much for stopping.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Alrighty. Do you describe Dominica? Others say a simple Caribbean island. But I say big things come in small packages, and to know one's worth is to know oneself. People, this is a one-of-a-kind show. Like me, this is the best way I know how to truly embrace Dominica and Dominicans. Real Vybz is seeking to discover our own icons, singers, songwriters, artists, painters, politicians, everyday human beings, and the faces that we know. And Real Vybz is letting their voice be heard. Welcome back, Real Vybz family. Still with us here on the show, Kex Mafia. And of course, I want to let you listen to the music that I've been talking about. Remember I said that Kex has been going quite viral. Let's take a look. And still on the topic of bouillon and its direction where it is headed, does it really incite violence? Is it a marketable product? Well, I thought who better to speak to than a man who is very well versed in music. He's the husband of the legendary Ophelia Marie, and many of you may not know, but Ophelia owes much of her success to this man because he has been her manager for, if not all, of her musical career. Welcome to the show, Mr. McCarthy Marie. Thank you for coming on the Real Vybz Show. Like I mentioned to you, we've heard all of these talks about bouillon possibly inciting violence, and it may not be a music that you want to listen to on a daily basis. What is your take on that, Mr. Murray?
Well, if you're talking about bouillon inciting violence at carnival, I would say that's a non-argument at all. Anybody who knows a little Dominican history will know in this present day carnival, at least in the late 1990s, violence is non-existent in carnival for practical purposes.
Exactly.
Because in the 1950s, 60s and so on, carnival was just really a legal riot where people exercised great violence. It wasn't like one person got killed, multiple people got killed by violence. That was, so carnival now is actually quite tame. And I would say the bouillon doesn't excite or incite violence as such. It's pretty, we might say, vapid music where there is no much instrumentation, not much musicianship exists in it. But yeah, I wouldn't say it incites violence, because if carnival is a barometer, and we go back to the historical record, you'll find that relative to times past when there was no bouillon or even electronic music on carnival, there was a lot more violence, and it was tolerated by the society. It so happens now that people are all excited about no violence. So the small amount of violence that exists then becomes associated with the music that dominates the times. But I wouldn't say it incites violence in carnival. I would, however, say that bouillon music is a music that's like tied to carnival. And the problem comes about when you want to sell it beyond carnival or after carnival, when there is no carnival.
Why is there a problem to market it? Because we know that the Dominican public, on a whole, Dominicans enjoy bouillon. We originated it, we love it. But why is it a problem to market outside of Dominica? Because some people may argue that Triple K is doing a fine job at marketing it.
Right. But actually, it's not so marketed outside of Dominica, because if you just take Triple K, they play in the carnivals in St. Martin, in St. Thomas, in Tortola, and so on. So it's very much tied to carnival. The problem with it is going beyond carnival. And there's some scientific studies that says that the public, people who listen to music, tend to gravitate towards music that's about 120 beats per minute. About a little bit on both sides. Bouillon generally is at 160 beats per minute.
Because it's very upbeat, right?
Super fast.
Right.
Right. So which means that it just from that fact alone limits its appeal beyond carnival.
So let me ask you, Mr. Marie, bouillon let's think about when Buyo first started off. Well, I'm not sure if it started
I
off
made the first record for WCK, by the way, right?
Wait, did you? So
Yes.
that's good.
did, right.
Because I was going to reference WCK. Think of songs like Balance Bati. That's
I
a
didn't
hit.
record that one anyway, right.
That it's a Buyo track, but it's not that upbeat. Are you saying that if the tempo was brought down a bit, that it could be marketable on an international level, but it's something you
Market
can listen
better,
to every day?
Yeah, for sure. But if you listen to Trinidad and Buyo, by the way, what they invent nothing called soca in Trinidad, you will notice that they've brought the tempo down this year. You listen to Kes, Marcel Montano, and other guys from Trinidad. There seems to be I won't say radical shift, but a precise shift down in the tempo of the music. And in point of fact, if you listen to it good, like some Trinidadian people tell me, it sounds like French music, which men do say it sounds like Dominican cadence calypso. If you listen to their music this year, because I know there's an effort in Trinidad to internationalize their version of Buyo, which they call soca, and they've been advised. I know one of the people working with them, Marcel Montano, that tempo just has to go down. One, and two, the music must be composed around, must be sung, and the songs must have a kind of universal appeal. If you listen to the new soca 2018, you'll find a lot of those kinds of music. Of course, they have to, this carnival, they have to have a couple of tempo thing, jump and rave and blah, blah, blah. But they're definitely shifting the music towards making it more internationally acceptable.
Mr. Murray, I noted that you said their version of Buyo. Why did you refer to it that way?
Oh, but I just think they copy from Dominica.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you think that the lyrical content affects our marketing, the Buyo?
Well, it's not so much the lyrical content. Well, lyrics, people in Dominica are fixated on lyrics a lot. But music has impact on the emotions of people without words. There are words, and then there are lots of music, like symphonic music, that they play in Europe. For example, at the time when Hitler took over German government, one thing to do is set up a division of cultural correctness, if you like, which banned certain types of music because it was composed by Jews, or the music wasn't promoting the idea that the Aryan race was superior to everybody else. So these music were put aside, and there were no lyrics in the music. It was chamber music or orchestral music for opera and so on. All the opera has words, of course. So music by itself, without any words, has a powerful impact on human beings.
And I remember you telling me, Mr. Murray, for those of you who Vybz family, Mr. Murray was telling me that when Rolling Stones first came out, you know, Rolling Stones is a rock band, that some people didn't think, some people didn't think it was marketable. Some people didn't even consider it music. And you know, Buyo is as upbeat. When I think of rock and Buyo, there are two very upbeat tempo sort of music. So who's to say Buyo can become something quite popular like rock?
Yes, for sure.
So what is it that we're doing wrong? There must be something that you can identify.
Oh, what we're doing wrong in the entire Caribbean is that we have lots of music and no business. So it's the business part that is completely lacking, that has to be developed. Yeah.
And I do want to ask Mr. Murray, Buyo is authentic to Dominica. We created it. If another artist from the Caribbean were to make a hit on Buyo, wouldn't that person be considered a legend, so to speak? Wouldn't that person somehow assume all of the popularity and the fame that would go along to putting this genre on the map?
Of course, you wouldn't call it Buyo. More likely call it soca. So that's the Trinidad version of soca. And if you notice this year, lots of the songs from Trinidad, like from Kes and Marcel Montano himself, and other artists, they've slowed down the tempo considerably, and they're just playing cadence.
Yes.
Yeah, with English lyrics and so on, because they understand that to sell the music beyond the carnival circuit, they have to make it more palatable to every kind of audience.
Yes.
You know, because bouyon music is great for carnival, but since every day is not carnival, you want to hear some different things at different times, you know?
Definitely. There you have it from the president of the Music Association, McCarthy Marie. Trust me when I tell you that this man, he's well versed in music. We value his opinion on the Real Vybz show. Does bouyon truly incite violence, or are we just not approaching it the right way? We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll meet our next guest. And of course, we want to thank Mr. Marie for joining us. Do you describe Dominica? Others say a simple Caribbean island. But I say big things come in small packages. And to know one's worth is to know oneself. People, this is a one-of-a-kind show. Like me, this is the best way I know how to truly embrace Dominica and Dominicans. Real Vybz is seeking to discover our own icons, singers, songwriters, artists, painters, politicians, everyday human beings and the faces that we know. Real Vybz is letting their voice be heard. Real Vybz family, what's today's hot topic? Bouyon music and where it is headed. Remember, recent statements made by the Madam Speaker suggest that bouyon sometimes contain violent lyrics that some people are rather concerned about. Can bouyon music be something that we listen to every day over the radio, at our dinner parties, at our anniversary, or is it simply something meant for carnival? Now, this show would not be complete if I hadn't invited this guest. We're talking about the originator of bouyon music, the bouyon man himself. And no matter who excels in bouyon today, we must give due credit to Ra Derek Peters. Welcome him to the show. Thank you for coming, Ra.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, and it's such a pleasure to be here again on your program. Feel so comfortable in your presence. Yeah.
Thank you. And Ra, like I said, I mentioned it to you over and over. If we're going to talk about bouyon, we need to speak to you. Let's start with the basic. How did you come about with that upbeat tempo?
Well, the way it is, I would say from small, you know, developing from a youth. Started playing like 2 years, 7 years, first performance and stuff like that. But I always thought to myself, growing up, that I wanted to do something different in music, and particularly in music coming from Dominica.
Let me ask you, Ra, when you were creating bouyon, were you creating it simply for carnival, or were you creating it because you thought this is really good Dominican music, this is something I want to promote?
Well, bouyon music can be played anytime, but now it's centered around our culture, more around Independence time. But if you check now, it plays right through because there's carnival right through the year, and it's a music with different groove and tempo, you know. It have the beat, but it have the groove and it have the tempo, you know. Tempo is the speed, the groove is the mood, you know. So we have different moods. For instance, Our Night is one of the slow grooves, yeah. Then we have Medvey, a faster groove, you know. And of course, as you see developed, we have things like the beats like what Skinny roll on, which you call like a rap style, and like Kex Mafia and Issa Bantan, those guys there. So you see a lot of that happening, but no, there's space for all of that because that's what bouyon music is about. It's all inclusive, anything that can work within the formula. Now,
boy, Ra, you made reference to a lot of the tracks in the past, but then there are a lot of people who suggest that the way that bouyon has evolved right now, it's so much more electronic that it's not really authentic as it used to be. What is your take on that?
Well, the thing is, the way it is how the industry moves. I mean, any industry you're in, it could be the building industry, music industry, pharmaceutical, you know, the things change a little bit and you have to be able to adjust with the change, you know, because what you were doing now, your kids won't be doing it. They'll find, well, what you're doing is like old-time-ish. It's just like when you were watching your parents, you say what they were doing were old-time-ish. You know, so, you know, you have to make allowance for the revolution or the evolution, you may want to call it, you know, of the music. You know, I mean, what we have to make sure we do now is to keep the foundation of the music, but there's always changes, you know, because bouyon is, like I said, you know, it have different elements that can work with the formula. And if somebody comes in with something different from the normal, you know, formula, it's okay. It's just that you have to use the foundation.
Right, admittedly, I have to agree with you. You know, everything is evolving, you know.
Yeah.
Music is going all different sort of ways. But let me ask you, with reference to music, bouyon music inciting violence, how do you think one can use bouyon to incite violence?
I think anything could incite violence. Sometimes you're talking peacefully to somebody, and to them inciting violence because they don't want to be in that mood, and that just put them in a violent mood. So it doesn't really depend on music to really make you violent. Any situation can make you violent. Somebody made the utter a word to you and it has no music to it, but you get violent because it's insultive. And as you know, there's different type of bullying. You know, if you could go into bullying, you know, I mean, there's verbal, there's all the different ones of it. I mean, the experts will tell you. So I want to say directly is bouyon music, you know, because there was that example, Marvin Gaye, you know, his father shot him and he sings all about love. Is his music incited violence? No. Reggae would be playing in church, people will be singing Holy Mary and Maria and stuff like that. People going to the church shooting and stuff like that. Is the Ave Maria song inviting violence, inviting or inciting violence? I don't think so. You know, it's left to the mind. Again, now we have different rhythm. You know, it has some rhythm that's more aggressive than others, you know. So I get with her what she was really saying, maybe by a certain time it should tone down. That was what we used to do before. Before, when it's carnival time, about maybe 7, 8 o'clock, the music would tone down, but by that time we had a lot of steel band and lapo cabaret. Right now I didn't see any steel band for carnival. I saw lapo cabaret, of course, which is lapo plastic, because it's those other drums, it's not really lapo cabaret. And you know, is a change what's happening. So I think it really have nothing to do with bouyon music to see particular. And I heard that a certain reference was made, you know, oh, we should play a kes instead of playing a bouyon. I think it's totally wrong, because we cannot have our music to promote. And of course we should lead by example. And I think the Speaker of the House means well, but we cannot have our music to promote and you're telling us drop our music and promote somebody else's music. You want to find they'll promote bouyon music in Trinidad.
On that note, let me just stop you there. With regards to promotion, one thing, we just spoke to the president of the Music Association, and he made a suggestion, and for the Real Vybz family, we're going to discuss it a little bit. You know, bouyon is hype, it's energetic, you know, it's almost like rock music, you know, it has that real upbeat tone. But he suggested that maybe the tempo needs to be brought down a little bit so that it can become an international product. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't really totally agree with that, because if you listen to Balance Batty is what, 22 years old now?
Yes.
And he put that on and that pumping as if it just come out. You know, so I don't really think it's the tempo. And you look like Our Night, right? Our Night is what? It's a slow groove.
Yes.
So I really do get it, because bouyon music have the different moods. It has the slow groove like Our Night. It have the groovy. It have the up-tempo like Balance Batty. It has the rap style, which you call hip-hop or raga, or what you may want to call it, you know, or Dominican twang, whatever you want to call it, reggaeton, you know. So it have the different moods. So it's just that, you know, I would say, you know, we need to play a little more of the groovy, you know, that way there. But to say we're gonna drop our up-tempo and leave it for Trinidad to run with, because they used to criticize us when we was doing a faster beat. Right now, they all what? 160 something, you know?
We're gonna go a little more in depth and find out what happened, man, because we miss you guys. The original WCK band.
I personally miss, you know, the original WCK, because the original, and I mean, when we say the original, we mean the original pure, not the original corrupted. We want the original pure. When people come there with all the innocence and did the thing from heart, not playing for pocket, but playing for heart, because bouyon music is about the people. It's the people's, you know, it's the people's stuff. You know, it belongs to them. You know, I mean, we play it. The creators blessed us by we being the one to bring it out, but belongs to Dominica.
Yes.
You know, it belongs to us. I mean, it's a world beat, but no, it belongs to the people of Dominica, and we want to keep it that way.
I tend to agree. Definitely. So Real Vybz family, today our hot topic, Bouyon music and where is it headed? Does Bouyon really incite violence? Of course, there are different opinions on the issue. You are entitled to your own opinion. Remember, on the Real Vybz show, we have the facts, the fun, and the freedom to talk about whatever we want. I'm Marissa Stedman, and you've been watching Real Vybz with Marissa. How do you describe Dominica? Others say a simple Caribbean island. But I say big things come in small packages, and to know one's worth is to know oneself. People, this is a one-of-a-kind show. Like me, this is the best way I know how to truly embrace Dominica and Dominicans. Real Vybz is seeking to discover our own icons, singers, songwriters, artists, painters, politicians, everyday human beings, and the faces that we know. Real Vybz is letting their voice be heard.